Animal Crossing New Horizons is the latest game from Nintendo and the latest game in the Animal Crossing franchise. Now, like a lot of people, this was my first Animal Crossing game. Prior to New Horizons, my biggest exposure to Animal Crossing was either Smash Bros, KK Slider meme covers, or Isabelle memes. And with 2/3 of my exposure to the game being memes, you can tell that I was 2/3 uneducated on it. Not that Smash Bros was any help, because all I really knew from that was that there was villages because there was a villager, so there had to be villages in which you live. And even that much was wrong because in New Horizons you start with nothing in a tent. And what an experience those first few hours were. This game was immediately charming, immediately captivating, and I couldn't peel myself away from it for the first 3 hours of gameplay. I rapidly encountered one of my biggest issues with the game in this manner though, the fact that you can only do so much in a day before another major progress update can be made. I wanted to get the museum up, built, and going, but I had to wait a full day before I could do anything about it. I knew that the museum existed because I'd been talking to my friends and collecting animals and bugs and whatnot to give to Blathers, so I just had an inventory full of fish and insects waiting for him. In a sense, this made me realize that Animal Crossing wants to be played by its own rules. This is a casual game, take it casually, don't try to rush through things. And while I appreciate that, I'd also like to play the game. I'm raring and ready to go, I've got more energy than everyone else out here. I get that I came on an island getaway, but god damn, stop suntanning, let's do something. The core gameplay loop of Animal Crossing is one that couldn't be tedious if you don't discover anything new, and that is partially up to chance. What I mean by this is, catching a horse mackerel 18 times over does become boring no matter how much money you're making from it. And this isn't totally Animal Crossing's fault. I know that there are a lot of people that like collectathon type games. My preferred method of avoiding Tom Nook's tyrannical tanuki tail was to collect fish and shells along the seashore. As someone who lives on the East Coast, I find the idea of beachcombing for 2 minutes in order to help pay off your mortgage a pretty satisfying and ideal life. And I did love the fishing, but I thought that it was kind of odd that the game didn't explicitly teach you how to fish. For the first little while, I thought every time I got a nibble, that's when I was supposed to pull the rod in, but I just kept losing the fish and I was confused. I thought the timing was just really precise. Obviously, I figured it out eventually, but the lead up to that figuring out was a very frustrated 20 minutes of flicking. I had one friend mention to me that Animal Crossing New Horizons was going to be the Breath of the Wild of the Animal Crossing franchise. And while the game is indeed very open-ended and beautiful, this is proof that even a virtual island paradise is not far enough to get away from breakable items. I thought I was on vacation. I thought things were supposed to be easier for me here. Here's a little ditty I wrote about it. Why have bug traps and inter-island rafting when you can have resource management and crafting? Maybe I wouldn't even be so perturbed if the resources at my disposal were actually balanced properly. Half of the craftable items require regular wood, so when I go to chop down a tree and I get equal amounts dark, soft, and regular wood, which one do you think I run out of first? And of course, I've already hit each tree on my island 3 times today, so I've run out of wood, and now I need to go spend 2,000 Nook miles that I earn on my Nook phone, that I gotta use the Nook terminal to take out a Nook ticket, so I can go get on the Nook plane and go to a Nook island and get some Nook materials. I don't care that you gave me forever to pay my mortgage back. A rock over my head is still a rock over my head, even if it doesn't pose the threat of falling on me. I don't like it. I suppose my only other complaint is that I don't understand why this is locked at 30 FPS. Mario Odyssey looked about as good as this, if not better, and it ran at 60 smoothly. But hey, I'm sure they had reasons for it. Alright, that was about all my pent-up vitriol for this game, so let's talk about the good stuff now. The characters are definitely the best part of Animal Crossing. I don't feel that I'm educated enough to take part in the debate about which villager is best, probably because I don't have that many of them yet. But at least in New Crossing Animal Horizons, I think Blathers is the best. I mean, look at the little guy. He's got his little ready rosy cheeks and he's got good facts about everything. He's knowledgeable and he's polite. Everything an animal should strive to be. What I love so much about all the characters in Animal Crossing is rather that they're positive, always. And sure, I get that this can come across to some people as the game being emotionally dishonest or the game being overly cheerful. But good God, look outside, man. Come on, we all need this. I would be a horribly dishonest critic if I said anything other than the game had me teary-eyed for the first hour, and then had me go into a full-on meltdown when I got my own house. And the game isn't dramatic or anything, it's just cheerful, it's happy, and it doesn't feel dishonest. These feel like real characters with human emotions, even though they're animals. Sure, they're a bit silly, but they're never so over the top that you think that they couldn't be real people. And in this sense, Animal Crossing becomes more of an RPG for me than anything else. My interactions with the NPCs in my village were like my favorite part of the entire game experience. Every single time that I brought a new insect or fish to the museum, I listened to Blather's whole spiel at regular speed. I never wanted to skip any dialogue, and that is really hard to do for me with my ADHD. And almost equally as alive as the NPCs is the soundtrack. See, you can tell it's a Nintendo soundtrack because the second that I step into my house and there's no music, I'm itching for more, like I'm a heroin addict on day 3 of withdrawal. And yes, I understand that it's ridiculous to juxtapose something so dark with something so lighthearted, but you were the ones putting a double-barreled shotgun in Isabelle's blood-soaked hands, so who's the real messed up one here? And now I suppose I finally see why people like Animal Crossing so much. There's nothing particularly special about the gameplay, but the character that the game holds is so strong and vivid and alive and lovable that I'm just coming back for more and more. So with solid core gameplay that can get on my nerves from time to time, pretty graphics, and lovable characters and adorable settings, for those reasons, today, I think we can give Animal Crossing New Horizons a 7 out of 10.